Kia.
I call Jonathan Young.
Ena mana, ena reo, ena rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Sir, it is indeed an honour to be able to stand and speak at the third reading on the Ngāruahine Claims Settlement Bill. I want to acknowledge my friend and colleague, the Honourable Christopher Finlayson, Sir, who has very aptly, sincerely and deeply led the process through which we come to a conclusion today. I'd like to also acknowledge Daisy Noble. In fact, there are many in the House today to acknowledge, but also Will Edwards, John Hooker, Peter Mohu. Sir, I'd like to also acknowledge Honourable Mahara Okero, and also all the supporting hapu and iwi from Taranaki who are here today. The rohi of Ngāruahine is where I was born and grew up as a young boy. We lived down the end of Rama Road, and Kaupokanui is my awa. As a 16-year-old, my first job was working for the Kiwi dairy factory at Kaupokanui, back in the day when we made cheese the hard way. I remember over that summer between my 5th form and 6th form, losing 2 stone in weight in 6 weeks because of the hard work. And yes, some of you might think I need to go back there. As a 17-year-old, I left for Palmerston North, where I trained to be a teacher, but then as a 20-year-old returned to South Taranaki, where I taught at Ramanui Primary School in Hawara. But I still travelled to Manaia several times a week, where I played my rugby for Waimati. Some of my earliest memories as a boy was standing on the ground down the Rama Road looking to Mount Taranaki. Something which many of you would have done and still do. And in fact, your heart reaches out to that because you want to stand on your land and look to your moanga. I vividly recall doing the same when my father, Vin Young, passed away. Taranaki has remained constant and central in all of our lives. He would have loved to have seen this day. And I'm privileged to stand here in this house and in some way representative of him as well as we come to this very, very important day. As Minister Finlayson has said, looking at the historical account, we see the serious breaches that have happened to the people of Ngāruahine. And so, Sir, it is important this day that, in the time that I have, to acknowledge that. But, Sir, I also wish to look to the future as Ngāruahine are doing as well. And, Sir, as I looked and saw their document, their strategic plan, of 2009 to 2034, charting a new course, I saw strategic goal 1 was that a divided house cannot stand. So, Sir, not only do they speak here today of their sense and purpose of unity, but our hope and prayer is that today, in the passing of this bill, that we would all be together, and that there would not be a divided house in Taranaki, but that we would see, Sir, a great support for this great iwi group. I would like to also mirror and reflect the words of Minister Finlayson, where he thanked Ngāruahine for the great generosity of coming to this house, negotiating and coming to this agreement with the Crown. We know, Sir, that only a very small proportion of that which they have lost has been returned. But, Sir, our prayer is that this will become a strong foundation to go forward and to develop the economic base, the cultural base, the educational, the economic and employment base for their future. So, Sir, I would like to speak longer, but it's important for us this morning that we progress our bills in a timely way, because we want to come to a completion today in this third reading. Sir, I commend the people of Ngāruahine to this House. I commend this bill to this House I'm so pleased and privileged to be able to stand in support of it. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.